Well, it's great to have Sue Radd back in the studio. Sue, your last segment on olive oil, we got a lot of interest from. But there were a lot of follow-up questions, and I thought, why don't we do another segment?
Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much for your willingness
There's lots to know about olive oil.
There certainly is. How do we choose what olive oil to purchase? What are the things we should look for?
So last time we talked about going for the extra virgin for all the particular health benefits we discussed.
And staying away from the light, because the very light coloured and
highly processed,
too highly
deficient when it comes to antioxidants. Right. But when you're in the store looking for that extra virgin, you want to be looking for a date.
Okay.
Ideally, if it's got it, the date of pressing. So that tells you when the olives were pressed. So for example, if you take that Australian extra virgin bottle, if you pick that up, it will tell you the date that it was pressed, which was only a few months back.
Superb.
So it's fairly fresh.
Now,
it's fairly fresh because they actually do the pressing. The olives are picked in the winter time.
Now, some things we like to eat when they've been around a long time.
They get better with aging.
Right.
Not olive oil.
Okay, well, why not?
Because the more it's exposed to light, to heat, the more that you lose the antioxidants. So oils that have been sitting around for years, even olive oil, will have a much lower antioxidant content than a fresh press.
So fresh is good. What about the colour of the container, metal versus glass?
You should always store your olive oil in a dark container, whether it's dark glass or in a metal container, and then decant it into dark glass, because again, the light gets through, you see, and light destroys the antioxidants. So don't buy any olive oils in clear glass, because they've probably already lost most of their antioxidants before they get into your cupboard.
For goodness sake, things you don't know. Huh? So this one came from Sicily, if I remember. This is from Greece, and this one's Australia.
That's right. And in Australia now, you will see more and more, there will be little symbols on the package which will help you to identify that it's an Australian-produced extra virgin olive oil. And
it says Australia on the front there and Australia down here. What's the advantage of buying locally versus imported?
Well, apart from supporting the Australian industry, of course, you are likely to get a more fresh olive oil, because some of the imported olive oils can be up to 2 years old.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah, so it's important if you're buying an imported one to check the can, check the bottle.
Absolutely.
Not all of them are that old. This one we checked earlier is not that old, that's for sure. I wouldn't be using it if it was. But you want something that's fresher, because the fresher it is, as we said, the higher the benefit in terms of antioxidants.
Now, one of the things I've noticed when I've been shopping is sometimes olive oil can be, a little pricey, to be honest.
Right.
Worth the bang for the buck?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, if it sounds cheap, don't buy it. It's probably not extra virgin olive oil. The industry did some testing a few years back, and they found that there were some oils imported from overseas that were actually not extra virgin olive oil being passed off as extra virgin olive oil. They were just refined vegetable oils with a little bit of extra virgin oil
in Australia.
Absolutely.
Under the title extra virgin. Okay, for goodness sake.
So they were sold cheaper, so of course people were buying them. So if it's too cheap, it's probably not extra virgin. It costs a lot of money to produce the best stuff, and it's worth every cent.
Probably if it's made in Australia, chances are it's better regulated, and so that wouldn't happen. Would that be right?
That's right.
Okay.
Now, one of the things, James, that probably we should mention to people, and that's about the cooking method.
Yes.
People always ask, don't they, about, well, can I cook with it?
Sure,
Can I fry with it? That's probably one of the most common questions.
Well, of course.
I guess. Let me put it to you this way, James. In the Mediterranean, they have always used extra virgin olive oil for all types of cooking, including frying. So yes, you can fry with olive oil. There is nothing wrong with frying with olive oil. Of course, we wouldn't encourage you to do a lot of frying in the first place. But if you do, what's of interest to note is this. The optimal temperature for frying any food is 180 degrees Celsius. The smoke point of olive oil, depends on which olive oil it is between 180 and about 220. In other words, it's fine for frying. You would not want to be frying at a high temperature anyway, because you wouldn't get a good product.
Sure. So that's great news.
No problem with frying. And in fact, because it's high in a fatty acid called oleic acid, and it has the antioxidants, you can refry and refry in the same extra virgin olive oil. At least that's what the studies show from Newcastle University, knowing that the fatty acids are there protecting, the antioxidants are there protecting the fatty acids.
I got to have confession. Now that you've told me it's okay, I make chips at home. I always make them in olive oil, and I tell my girls they're by far the best chips, and they agree with me.
I'm sure they are, James.
Not only the best for you, but the best tasting. So great news on olive oil. Thanks so much, Sue. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
you.